Hello, it's Laura Joy. Hold on. Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about types of credit, and there's revolving credit and there is installment credit. So I was watching Khan Academy, the financial literacy course, and they were talking about this. So I just thought I'd share with you the reason why I don't want to get either of these. Okay. So first, credit. It is money you can borrow from a lender that you agree to pay back later. So two types of credit are revolving and installment credit. Revolving credit is when you have a limit of how much you can borrow, but you can borrow it repetitively for as long as you pay back some of it every month. Thus, it can accumulate over time, because if you don't pay back the full amount every month, it just gets bigger and bigger because you have an interest rate, and the interest rate builds on the last interest that you had. And so the number just keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on. If you don't pay it back, or if you pay it back, you still have the interest to pay off. So you can't pay it off completely, but you still have the interest to pay off. And that's like, why would you do that to yourself? And plus you're forming a habit of, oh, I'm gonna get more debt and get more debt and get more debt and get more debt. It's like, why would you do that to yourself? So that's revolving credit. So not paying it all back is called paying the minimum. And then paying back the full balance is what paying the amount that you need to pay is called. So the interest rate is the percentage that tells you how much interest you pay per year. The higher the interest rate, the more money you pay. Okay, so installment credit. They said that this is when you borrow a fixed amount of money and agree to pay it back. An equal monthly payment is agreed upon in a contract. So this is better, but it's still not great. So a personal loan is a type of installment credit you can use. A personal loan is a loan to pay for a big expense like a car, a vacation, or a home improvement. You can get a contract that tells you how much you borrowed and how much you need to pay every month and how long you have to pay it back. What interest rate you would pay is the last one. So the interest rate is usually fixed, which means it doesn't change, and it goes down once you've paid the last bit. So that it doesn't change during the loan term, which is the amount of time that you have to pay back the loan. So an installment credit is when you agree to pay it back in a certain amount of time. You pay back a fixed monthly expense, and then the interest rate doesn't go up because the interest rate is fixed. Okay. That's still not great because you have a debt that you have to pay, and if you don't pay it, you have a penalty fee. Then you have that to pay for. The monthly payment of a loan is usually the same every month for an installment credit. Unless you miss a payment, you pay extra. Then you pay extra. Revolving and installment credit are different in terms of payment, interest, and balance. So differentiations are: repayment. With revolving credit, you choose how much to repay every month as long as you pay the minimum. With installment credit, you have to pay a fixed amount every month until you pay off the loan. I could be wrong about there being a set time you have to pay it off, but in my mind, I like to assume that, because then I get going. Then I get like, oh, I have to pay this up now, you know. Interest. With revolving credit, the interest rate is usually variable, which means it can change depending on the market conditions or your credit score. So the interest is also compounded, which means you pay interest on interest. With installment credit, the interest rate is usually fixed, which means it stays the same throughout the loan term. The interest is also simple, which means you pay the interest on the principal. So the principal is the amount that was started with. The principal is, I'm borrowing this much, then you have to pay that back. So the amount that you have to pay back initially is the principal. Okay. So like a simple interest rate is when you just don't have to pay interest on interest. It's when you can like pay it on the principal. Anyway, those are just some things I've learned today, some of my opinions, and I'm not trying to be like really upset at people. I'm just, when you've got a debt, you've got to pay it off, you know? You've got to do it now. Anyway, you take care. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.